Hello everyone. So in this session we will see what are the journal entries in the books of consignor and consignee when the goods are sold on consignment basis. So these are consignor journal entries in the books of consignor and journal entries in the books of consignee. So consignor, see, let us understand some rules here. So say I am a consignor. I am sending some goods or selling some goods on consignment basis to a consignee or agent who in turn will sell those goods to the third party on behalf of me. Now, for the consignor, if I want to know what is the profit or loss from that particular consignment, then what is the basic rule for that? See, what I will do is I will prepare one account for that particular consignment. Whatever are the sales, I will write it on the credit side. Then whatever are the cost, I'll write it on the debit side of that account, and whatever is the unsold stock, the cost of unsold stock, I will write it in the credit side. And then if the credit side is greater than the debit side, then it is a profit. If the debit side, that is your cost or expenses, are greater than the credit side, then it's a loss. So this account is prepared by the consignor, known as consignment account. Now, for a particular consignor, there may be number of consignees. I may be sending goods to lot of consignees, say A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, so I will be preparing a consignment account for each and every consignee. Consignment with A account, consignment with B account. So that will help me to keep the track of each and every consignment. It will give me details about the sale, expenses, and what is the unsold stock with the consignee at the end of a particular period, and profit and loss from each consignment. So we will be preparing one consignment account in the books of consignor, and all the sales and the expenses will be recorded in this consignment account. It won't be recorded in your normal profit and loss account. And then whatever is the profit and loss on this consignment, then it will be transferred to the profit and loss account of the consignor. Next, now consignee is a person, is a third person. Now there might be some expenses which are paid by the consignee on behalf of us. Then there might be commission which is payable to the consignee, some advance received from the consignee. So it is also necessary to prepare a consignee account. So this consignee account is the personal account of the consignee. It is similar to your debtors or creditors account. Okay, whereas this consignment account is like a profit and loss account, wherein you record your sales on the credit side, expenses on the debit side, and finally we get the amount of profit and loss on the consignment. Now, journal entries in the books of consignee. Now, consignee, let us assume that I am a consignee, I am an agent. I am selling the goods on behalf of some other person. So now, when the goods are received, the ownership of the goods lies with the consignor. I am just taking the goods on his behalf and then I am selling it. So, in the books of the consignee, the entries there will be journal entries only if some amount is payable to the consignor, or receivable from the consignor. Okay, only then the journal entries will appear in the books of consignee. See, understand this, consignee is an agent. He doesn't have a ownership of the goods. When the goods are sold by the consignee, they are on behalf of the consignor. So for this goods sold, Whenever he receives some amount, he has to pay it back to the consignor. Whatever expenses that are incurred on the goods, he has to recover it from the consignor, and whatever commission that he charges, he has to get it from the consignor, and whatever is the balance amount due, if the amount is due from the consignor, he has to receive the payment from the consignor. If he has to remit the amount to the consignor, he has to make the payment to the consignor. So for it is like when in the books of consignor we make a consignment account, which is similar to profit and loss account. Now consignee is only concerned with the sale of goods and getting the commission on that. So the journal entries in the books of the consignee will be only when something is payable to the consignor or receivable from the consignor. Okay, when is something payable to the consignor? When the consignee has made some sales and he has received the amount for the sales on behalf of the consignor. And what all is receivable from the consignor? Whatever expenses that consignee has incurred on behalf of consignor, commission. Okay, so the entries will be only if there is something payable or receivable from the consignor. The journal entries will be passed in the books of consignee. Now let us see all the transactions one by one. Okay, and let us see what will be the journal entries in the books of consignor and consignee. Goods sent on consignment basis. Now, in the books of consignor, as I told you, there will be a consignment account. So, consignment with A, consignment with B, separately for each and every consignee. And when the goods are sent on the consignment basis, we see it is an expense, it is a cost. So, consignment account needs to be debited. So, entry will be consignment account debit to goods sold on consignment account, and these goods are sent along with the pro forma invoice since it's not an actual sale, and whatever is the amount on the pro forma invoice is recorded here. Usually they will be sent on the cost, or sometimes the goods may also be sent at a cost plus some extra amount, that is in your sale price also. Sometimes they can be sent at a sale price also. So whatever is the amount in the pro forma invoice needs to be recorded here. Now this goods sold on consignment, okay, this will be later on adjusted to your purchases, that is it will be reduced from your purchases. So the entry will be your goods sold on consignment account debit to purchases account. So it will be reduced from your purchases and thereby reducing it from your normal profit and loss account. So it is like you're transferring these goods from your normal purchases to goods sold on consignment basis in your consignment account. Now, journal entry in the books of consignee. The consignee has received the goods on behalf of the consignor. The ownership of the goods is not transferred to the consignee. So there won't be entry in the accounting books of the consignee. But he will maintain the record separately for the goods received on the consignment. But in the books of accounts, there won't be any entry in the books of consignee. Next, expenses incurred by consignor. Now the consignor has incurred some expenses. Again, in the books of consignor, we will debit consignment account since it is an expense. So consignment account debit. So what are the expenses that are incurred? Now either he must have made the payment for those expenses, or he must have the expenses may be payable to the creditor. So to bank account or to creditor account. so that the expenses have come on the debit side of the consignment account. Now, in the books of consignee, again the expenses are incurred by the consignor, so no entry in the books of consignee. Now, advance received from consignee either by cash payment, bank transfer, bill of exchange or promissory note. See, when the goods are sold on the consignment basis, when the as a consignor I need some assurance or the guarantee from the consignee. So the since goods worth rupees so and so are with the third party has to give me some assurance. So now many times consignee may give some advance to the consignor. It may be either in your cash or bank payment, or sometimes consignee may also accept a bill of exchange or a promise, or write and accept a promissory note and send it to the consignor. So in that case the entry will be, see, a consignor has received either the payment in the bank, so bank account debit, or cash account debit, or bills receivable accounts. Consignor might have received a bill from the consignee. In that case, the bills receivable account is debited to consignee's account, consignee's personal account. Now, in this case, when the advance is received from the consignee, this is neither an expense nor a sale. So, consignment account is not affected. Instead, a personal account of the consignee is affected here. So, bank cash bills receivable account debit to consignee account. This is similar to advance received from your debtor. The entry is similar to advance received from the debtor. Now, in the books of consignee, he has paid the amount. Okay, so this entry will be similar to advance to creditor. So in this case, consignor, since the payment is made to the consignor, so consignor account debit to either bank, cash or bills payable account if he has accepted a bill of exchange or he has signed a promissory note and sent it to consignor. Now in this case, bills receivable account will be your normal bills receivable. It will have a due date. So on due date, the consignee is liable to make the payment against this bills receivable. If this bills receivable is discounted by the consignor, then normal entry for discounting of the bills receivable needs to be passed in the books of consignor. Next, sale of goods by consignee. Now there is a sale of goods by consignee. So sale of goods is an income. So consignment account will get credited. Now sale of goods is by consignee. So amount is collected by consignee on behalf of the consignor. So amount is receivable from the consignee. So consignee account debit to consignment account will be the entry in the books of consignor. Now, journal entry in the books of consignee. Now, consignee has sold the good. So, the goods may be either sold in cash or bank or on credit. So, in the books of consignee, the entry will be cash, bank, or debtor's account debit if the goods are sold on credit. Now in case of normal sales, the entry would have been your cash or bank or debtor's account debit to sales account. But here the goods are sold by the consignee on behalf of the consignor. So to consignor account, the amount of the sale is payable to the consignor. So we are crediting consignor's account here. Now next one. Expenses by consignee. So there might be some expenses which are incurred by consignee. So as a consignor, I am liable to pay that expenses back to the consignee. And these are the expenses. So my consignment account will get debited. So the entry will be consignment account debit. Now this is payable to whom? To consignee. So to consignee account. And in the books of the consignee, the entry will be, see, consignee agent, I have made the payment, okay, or that amount is payable to the creditor for that expense, and the same I have to recover it from the consignor. So the entry will be consignor account debit to bank account or cash account if the payment is made, or to a creditor account. Okay. Next, commission to consignee. Now the commission is payable to the consignee on the consignment. Commission is an expense, so we will debit consignment account. Consignment account debit to whom? Commission is payable to consignee, so to consignee account. Now in the books of the consignee, the entry will be, now the commission is an income for the consignee, so the commission account will be credited, commission income account, and the commission is receivable from consignor, so consignor account debit to commission account. Okay. Next, bad debts. In case of no del credit commission is received. Now, if the no del credit commission is received and there are some bad debts, then those bad debts are to be borne by the consignor and not consignee. So the entry in the books of consignor will be, since the bad debts are expenses and borne by the consignor, consignment account debit. Now this bad debts are to be borne by the consignor. Now at present they are borne by consignee. So it is payable to consignee. So to consignee account. Now in case of consignee, if no del credit commission is paid, first we will pass a normal entry for bad debts, that is bad debts account debit to debtors account in the books of consignee. Okay, the amount was lying with the debtors, so we have to write it off. So bad debts account debit to debtors account. Now there is a balance in the bad debts. Now this bad debts, if there is no del credit commission that is receivable, then this bad debts need to be recovered from the consignor. So entry will be consignor account debit to bad debts account. Since the amount is recoverable from the consignor and consignee is not liable for the bad debt since he receives only ordinary commission and no del credit commission. Now say if the consignee receives an del credit commission, in that case the liability of this bad debts is to be borne by the consignee and not the consignor. So for consignor there is no expense, okay, if there are any bad debt. So there won't be any entry in the books of consignor if the del credit commission is paid and there are bad debts. Now in the books of consignee, the first entry will be same, that is bad debts account debit to debtors account. Now these bad debts are to be borne by the consignee itself. Now because of this bad debts, because he has to incur this bad debts losses, he has got an extra commission known as del credit commission. So what he will do is he will write off this bad debts against the commission income. So the entry will be commission account debit, that is commission income account debit, to bad debts account. Then whatever is the net balance in the commission account will be his income from the consignment. Next, goods taken by the consignee. Now, sometimes the consignee might take some goods, maybe for his personal use or maybe for his business purpose. So, in that case, this goods taken by the consignment will be considered as your normal sales for the consigner. So, in that case, the entry will be, since it's a goods taken by the consignee, he may have taken it at the invoice price or whatever price. So what we have to do, it's like an income, so we have to credit the consignment account, and that amount is recoverable from consignee. So consignee account debit to consignment account. Now, in the books of consignee, he has taken some goods. Now, if they are for the purpose of the business, it will be treated as your normal purchases. So, in the books of the consignee, the entry will be purchases account debit and the amount is payable to the consigner. So, to consigner account. If it is for the personal use or personal purpose, then that entry will be capital account debit or drawings account debit to consignor account. So entry will be either purchases account debit or your capital account debit, depending on why the goods are taken by the consignee. If it is for business purpose, then purchases, else capital to consignor account. Amount is payable to the consignor for this goods. Next, unsold stock with the consignee. Now, unsold stock with consignee. See, this unsold stock with the consignee in the books of consignor. Now, as I have explained, this consignment account is like your profit and loss account. So, on credit side, what you record is you record all the sales and all the cost of the unsold stock, and on the debit side we record all the expenses. So what we need to do in this unsold stock with the consignee is we have to take it on the credit side of the consignment account, and this consignment stock will be shown as an asset, that is stock lying with the consignee. So the entry for this will be consignment stock account debit to consignment account. So this unsold stock, cost of unsold stock has come on the credit side of the consignment account, and this consignment stock account will be an asset, the closing stock, that is with the consignee. Then now in the books of consignee, now even if it is an unsold stock, the stock doesn't belong to consignee, it is a consignor stock. So there is no entry for this in the books of consignee. Next, settlement amount received from consignee. So finally what happens after all this transaction, some settlement amount is received from the consignee. So in the books of the consignor, the entry for this will be, see, settlement amount may be received by cash, bank or bill of exchange or promissory note. So the entry will be similar to advance received from the consignee. So the entry will be cash account debit, bank account debit, all bills receivable account debit to consignee account. So in books of the consignee, the entry will be consignor account debit to cash or bank or bills payable account. Okay. Now settlement amount. So now usually this is the case, but sometimes say if for consignor has to pay the consignee, then these entries will get reversed. That is consignee account debit to cash bank bills receivable account in the books of consignor, and in the books of consignee it will be cash bank bills receivable account debit to consignor account. So this was about the basic journal entries both in the books of consignor and the consignee in the case of sale on consignment basis. Now here we will see the impact when the goods are invoiced at the price higher than the cost. Say this is a consignor and it's a consignee. Now goods are sent by consignor to the consignee. Usually these goods are sent at a cost in usual case. But say suppose these goods are invoiced or sent at a price that is higher than the cost. Say this cost was 1000 and they were invoiced to consignee for 1200. Okay, so now what has happened is in the books of the consignor, for the goods sent on the consignment, the entry will be your consignment account debit to goods sent on consignment. So entry must have been good consignment account debit to goods sent on consignment account, and amount is 1200. We will record this entry at the price at which they were sent. So the price in the pro forma invoice will be 1200. So we are passing this entry for 1200. Now if you see your consignment account, the actual cost of goods was 1000. So instead of this, the entry in the consignment account has been passed for 1200. So to remove the impact of this additional 200, what we will do is we will pass a reverse entry to the extent of 200. So the entry will be goods sent on consignment account debit 200 to consignment account. So what has happened because of this entry? Now your consignment account will show a net balance of 1000 and goods sent on consignment will also show a net balance of 1000, which is correct. That is the cost at which the goods are sent, or that is the cost of the goods, but the goods are invoiced at 1200, so earlier they were recorded at 1200. Now next, say now out of this, the stock of the goods at the end of the period or the end of the month is 600, which is sent by the consignee. This is a stock detail that is sent by the consignee. Now consignee doesn't know that the cost of the goods is 1000 because the invoice that he has received is 1200. Now the stock of the good that is given by the consignee is also valued at the price of 1200 and not at the cost, that is 1000. So now the stock with the consignee, the entry for the stock with the consignee will be your consignment stock account debit to consignment account. So consignment stock account debit to consignment account, and the amount will be 600. Now this 600, actual cost of this 600 is how much? 500. How did we get it? See, for 1200 the actual cost was 1000. So for 600, what is the cost? 500. We calculated the proportionate cost. Now but what is the consignment stock that is recorded? It is 600. So we have to remove this effect of 100. How do we do that? What we do is we pass an entry as consignment account debit 100 to inventory reserve account 100. Now this inventory reserve account will be adjusted with your consignment stock. Now if you see, because of this, what has happened, that net impact of the stock in the consignment account has become 500, because consignment account was credited by 600 and debited by 100, and your consignment stock which was lying at 600, your inventory reserve of 100 will get adjusted with this consignment stock, and thus your consignment stock will be reflected at 500. So in this case, where the goods are invoiced at a price that is higher than the cost, what we do is we will pass some entries to remove the impact of that additional invoice price over the cost. That is, once the entry is passed when the goods are sent on the consignment, and the entry is also passed for the consignment stock, okay, reversal of that consignment stock by passing an entry through inventory reserve. So this is how we pass the entries when the goods are invoiced at a price higher than the cost.